Wingat po. Now tuman is Sekwaham and Bintang Pantam.
Thank you. Put it here. Hello, I am a colonist from England, but I currently live in Jamestown. That Native American I saw was not just a random Native American. She's known as the Indian Princess, also known as Pocahontas. You're probably wondering, what language was Pocahontas speaking and what does it mean? Well, the language that she was speaking was Virginia Algonquian, also known as the Powhatan language. Now, what Pocahontas said to me was, "Hello friend, here is water and deer." How did I understand that? Well, it first began on May 14, 1607, when the colonists arrived on the James River, which is now known as Virginia. The land that Jamestown was on was not the colonists' land at first. It was the territory to the Powhatan Empire. The empire consists of about 13 Native American tribes, with Chief Powhatan as the tribe's ruler. Powhatan was born June 17, 1545, and his full name was Waham Seneca. Powhatan was also the father of Pocahontas and the father of many other children too. The news about the settlers were bad to the Powhatans, so they attacked the colonists to get them out of their land. When the colonists would go out of the fort or straight alone, the Powhatans would kill them. In the winter of 1607, John Smith was captured by the Powhatans and was brought to the Powhatan tribe. People don't really know what happened to John Smith, but whatever he did was great for the Jamestown colonists. John Smith was born in January of 1580 in London, England. At a young age, Smith was on the battlefields where he fought for the Netherlands' independence. In 1606, John Smith joined the Virginia Company of London and set sail to Jamestown December 20th, 1606. When John Smith returned to Jamestown, he told the colonists that the Powhatans and them had made peace for now. By the end of 1607, there were about 38 settlers in Virginia. And do you know how many settlers came to Jamestown? Well, about 104 colonists originally came to Jamestown, so how many colonists died then? Well, the answer is about 66 colonists died in about 7 months. Because of all these deaths were hunger, diseases, malaria, and Powhatan attacks. In January of 1608, more colonists came, and one of the colonists accidentally started a fire, which damaged the fort badly. In February of 1608, a boy named Thomas Savage is left with the Powhatans to learn their language and customs. A native man named Namansak is brought to Jamestown to also learn the colonists' language and customs. About 8 months later, more colonists arrived, including the first 2 women in Jamestown by the names of Miss Thomas Forrest and her maid, Anne Burris. Soon after that, John Smith is elected the president of the council and states, "He that shall not work shall not eat." This statement helped the colonists with surviving because before John Smith was the president of the council, all the colonists would look for gold instead of finding food to survive. About a month later, Jamestown had its first English wedding. Anne Burris marries John Layden. At the beginning of 1609, Chief Powhatan attempts to kill John Smith, but Powhatan's attempt was unsuccessful. In September, Smith was seriously injured in a gunpowder explosion, so Smith sails back to England later that month. Since there was no leader of Jamestown, the colonists elected a new leader of Jamestown by the name of George Percy. Between the winter of 1609 to spring of 1610 was known as the Starving Time. The Starving Time was when Powhatan's warriors surrounded Jamestown, trapping everyone inside. More than 75% of Jamestown colonists died, and about 60 survivors left in Jamestown. Can you tell me how I was able to communicate with Pocahontas now? Well, when Smith made peace with the Powhatans, he had to communicate and learn their language in order to do it. Another thing is that when we sent Thomas Gates to learn the Native Americans' language and customs, and how the Powhatans sent Namantak to learn our language and customs too. That's right, Pocahontas. What Pocahontas said to me was, another way we learned how to communicate with each other is when I would come and visit Jamestown and communicate with the colonists. Now, this is how the Jamestown colonists would communicate with the Powhatans for food, trades, visits, survival, and helping each other out. Thank you.